Welcome to episode 1 of our super totally tubular alien podcast. I'm Chad Jacob. I am Enrico Fermi's great-grandson, very inspired by my great-grandfather's work, and that is why I have assembled this team of alien experts to inform you and try and convince you that aliens are real.
I'm Sam Shakin, alien enthusiast.
I'm Paul Baggett, alien enthusiast and climatologist.
I'm Giovanni Garbella, part-time theoretical astrophysicist.
I'm Chase Dawson, VU student.
Alright, so getting down to the nitty-gritty here, basically as a group we've decided to talk about aliens and pose a question to you, are aliens real? Through thorough research and analysis, my group has taken the stance that yes, aliens are real, and throughout this podcast and digging into graphs and in our report, we will try and convince you of that. So the first topic of conversation that we would like to discuss, open the floor a little bit, is the Fermi paradox. And it was named after physicist Enrico Fermi back in the 1950s. And he posed the question, where are the aliens? Not if aliens are real or not real. He's past that. He thinks aliens exist. So he's asking where they are. A lot of backing within his research. Basically, he talks about how big the universe is, just being outside of the Milky Way. In the Milky Way alone, there are 10,000 stars per grain of sand on the Earth. And he thinks that there's basically no way that extra life doesn't exist within the universe.
So I just want to jump in there. Now, he believes this because the universe is just so big. You said that there are more stars than the grains of sand on Earth, and that's just in the Milky Way.
That's just in the Milky Way alone. Yes.
So we have millions of other galaxies in the entire universe. So what Fermi is proposing is that there are too many universes, too many planets, too many solar systems for there not to be aliens.
Right.
Just statistics.
Right.
Right?
Right.
All right.
So, throughout his paradox, this question he asks, if you will, there's a few explanations as to, expanding on this. He has some theories that, a few different theories that take different directions. One of the first theories is that we just haven't claimed we've come in contact with these aliens just because of physical difficulty. So that goes to say that, civilization, or their alien civilization, and travel technology isn't good enough yet. He makes another explanation that they just simply haven't chosen to come to Earth. And the third explanation, and the one we are going to expand on more, is aliens have already come to Earth, but it's been really hard to actually observe them. People have claimed that they've seen, they've come in to close encounters with aliens, and that will be further described in this podcast, as we have an account of
a few accounts,
personal accounts of this being a possibility, and other people claim that they've seen UFOs and whatnot. So,
What's your reasoning for not thinking that we haven't seen any type of aliens?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. One, a lot of people, some people when talking about aliens like to freak out, and aliens are said to be this and that and very scary and just completely dominating to the human race, and think negative thoughts like death, they're out to get us. So I truly do think that aliens are real, and we might have already come encounter with them, but the government doesn't want to
expose
us.
Well, imagine this. So there's thousands of accounts of seeing aliens, right? Apart from just individual people, normal random guys, but Air Force pilots, really high up government officials, right? So it gets to a point where there's just too many accounts, too many witnesses of these types of things, yet the government is still saying there are no aliens. But of course they're going to say that. Because if the government says, yeah, there are aliens, imagine how everyone's going to react.
Yeah.
They're going to start asking questions, they're going to start freaking out, and they can't give an answer. The government can't say, well, you know, we just don't know, let's hope that they don't kill us.
Right.
Or they're abducting people, or they're whatever. They can't give an answer. So until they can give an answer, until they can provide more information, they have to decline.
Right.
Well, if the aliens are here, there's nothing the government can do to stop them from doing whatever they want.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's gonna pose. a
That's
huge
implying that
problem.
because they're here, they're such an advanced civilization, way beyond ours, that
Right.
they can basically do their will with us.
Yeah, and nobody knew that they were here. So imagine if we knew they were here. Imagine what they can do.
Right. Right.
Has there been any sightings of these aliens? Any record of them? Or didn't you say you had some information on that?
Yeah, I made a graph. I got this information from pretty reliable source. Went all the way back to the 1900s, 1800s on the sightings per month that people reported to the government or any high up officials, and I kind of made it into a smaller sample size. And I went back to 2009. And then I added all the months up, so I did it per year. And at 2009, there were about 5,000 sightings during that year. And then there was a steady increase until 2014, and that got all the way up to 18,670, and then slowly started declining as the years went on from there.
I want to jump in here. So you've taken a look at the data. So beyond these past 10 years, have you noticed kind of throughout history where there weren't very many, and then a specific year or specific time period where all of a sudden they started going from 0 or 10 to several thousand, like what's been going on the past few years?
Well, in 1947, there was the Roswell crash in New Mexico. That was when the alien sightings first started to make huge jumps, and before the crash there were maybe one time a month, no times. It's very sporadic.
Very little to make fuss about it.
Yeah. And then after the crash happened, there were 300 sightings within a 6-month period.
Right.
So
something happened in 1947.
People
the
were
aliens
on
to
high
look at.
alert. It was right after World War II. So maybe they were curious about nuclear war that could be coming. And
Yeah.
they didn't want us to destroy our own planet, that maybe they want to take it from us.
So I want to jump in too. When you talk about they don't want us to destroy the planet, they want to use it for their own purposes. So there's this different types of civilizations, right? And in 1964, and an astronomer Nikolai Kardashev proposed this theory. So type 1 civilization is where you can take the energy and all the resources in a specific planet. A type 2 is where a civilization can harness energy from their star, like their own sun, kind of maybe create
energy source.
create just a giant sphere, right? Harnessing all the nuclear fusion of that star. And then the type 3 is they're able to get energy from the entire galaxy of other planets, right? Other solar systems, other stars. So when you bring up the atomic bomb, and that's when we dropped the first atomic bomb in 1945, right? So it kind of set something off for the aliens. Hey, these guys are killing themselves, whereas we could use that Earth for their resources. So we're assuming that there is a Type 3 civilization out there that is interested in what we have to offer.
Yeah. So I have a theory that actually dates back as far as 1940s, but I unfortunately didn't have all that data. My data started around 1970. That included the UFO sightings and temperatures. And my theory is that based on this graph that I have on here, the aliens like the warm temperatures, and that's why they're coming. They might have been, they realized that they saw the atomic bomb, they're like, I'm going to come, and then they realized that they like the warm temperatures or something like that. But my theory is, if you look at this figure based on the UFO sightings, mine dates back to 1970, and then kind of links up with your graph. And right around the period 1940, right at 1940, there's a spike in sightings. And then if we look at another graph that I made with the temperatures, it does just about the same thing. And what I did was I combined the two graphs, and if you look at figure 3 here, they directly correlate with each other. There's the yellow line is the UFO, or is the temperature, is the ocean temperature, which is everything below 700 meters below the ocean. So don't think of that temperature as the ocean temperature, but 700 meters below the ocean temperature.
The ocean level.
The ocean level, yeah, sorry. Yeah. And then that blue line is the sightings themselves. So they correlate tremendously. That's why I use the line graph, because you're able to easily see how they correlate and how they overlap. On the left axis, or left y-axis, I have the sightings, and then the right, I have the ocean temperature.
And so you're kind of saying aliens like warmer ocean temperatures,
Yeah.
so that they can use that to power their different things.
Yeah, that's exactly my theory. I actually have two different thoughts. I have one that they drop these heat generators into the ocean. They heat our ocean, as well as that heat and the ocean water powers their UFOs, and it charges their UFOs. Or they live down there, and we just don't know that they're down there. They live down there.
So, and probably a reason too to kind of jump to the alien conclusion is we can see the ocean temperatures are rising 10 degrees, which is 10 degrees Celsius, right? Around 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's just too much for any human thing to try to explain. So it's like it's too weird, it's too whatever. Aliens, pretty much.
Why would aliens wait till 1995 though to start using our oceans when they've been around for global warming?
But also keep in mind global warming. But so 1945 was kind of when it set off.
Maybe
right?
that's when we came on the map to them.
When
Maybe
we came
they
on the
didn't
map,
know.
sure. Exactly. So we came on the map, and then just the sheer distance between different galaxies, it's going to take time, right? They're millions and millions of light years away, and we're just assuming that they have some sort of technology that we don't have to be able to get here in 30 years, right?
So, yeah, we, through thorough research and analysis, we've come to the conclusion that aliens are in fact real. Thanks again for tuning into episode 1 of our super totally tubular alien podcast. We'll catch you for episode 2.
All right.